That time, it was a difficult time. Growing up, obviously, the National Front was there. Skinheads were about. It was a very difficult time for any black kid.
Yeah.
And growing up and seeing that, I had seen it. That, you know what I mean, coming to Chelsea, as everybody knows, and to hear all this racism that was going on, and I was like shocked. Because here we are at a club, a big club like Chelsea. I just didn't expect that.
Was that the first time you experienced it at Chelsea?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, don't get me wrong, non-league had experience, but it wasn't as strong as that. But coming to a professional club, I wasn't expecting that at all. And when I broke into the first team after 4 months, and to receive that on my debut, it was daunting. It was hurtful. It was terrifying.
You were obviously aware before your debut that you would be the first black player to play for Chelsea, I presume, or did you even realise?
I didn't realise.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I saw other young black players that was there. When I say young, they were youth players, not called apprentice now. They're called, but youth players that were there, and it was a case I didn't realise. The thing about it, as a young player, you want to break into the first team. That was the whole object of it. I was given that chance after 4 months playing in reserves. I was playing on the left, playing on the right, played a striker, and I played well. That I got my chance, and I have to say the late John Neal gave me that chance. And it was a difficult one for him, really, because he had favourite players like Clive Walker and so forth. But that debut that he took off one of our favourite players, Clive Walker, and put me in, it was a difficult decision for him. I'm sure he knew that, but he didn't care. But it was not being accepted by a certain majority of those fans at the time, and that's who I had the battles with.
Did you realise it as soon as you stepped onto the pitch for your debut?
I didn't. I realised when I started warming up, and when I started warming up and hearing that abuse, I was
Really?
and not realising, thinking it was Crystal Palace fans that were trying to put me off it, trying to turn around. It was a majority of my own fans, and that was hard to take.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. It was. Trust me, going on the pitch, I didn't even want to get on. Stripped. I hugged the line till the referee blew his whistle and I came off. And that was daunting. That was the wake-up call. What do I do from there? So,
What sort of percentage are we talking of the stadium?
well, when you say majority of those fans, I couldn't say.
You couldn't say, but
I
it was
couldn't
all
say.
around.
It wasn't all around. That certain bunch that was there behind that, because obviously the stadium probably changed by now. It's funny, the other day, a few months ago, it would have been 40 years since I returned back there.
Right.
I hadn't returned back to Crystal Palace since then, until Chelsea played them the other day. They won 3-1, I believe. And that was, thinking about, wow. And I saw friends like Vince Hilaire and Chambers, and to think that, wow, this is where I made my debut. And I hadn't returned back there in 40 years. Huh?